that you're supposed to learn about APA. Number one is about how you format the headers and the footers. The headers, once you double click on the top of your page here, you see the header, and when you scroll down, you'll see the footer at the bottom. So that is one thing. There are some content that are needed on the headers and the footers, and as it relates to APA style. So that is one thing. The second thing about the APA style we are going to learn is about the title page, how you are supposed to format your title page. And this is simply the content that's supposed to be here. Before now you go to your introduction, I've just picked a random paper, and this content is just for any paper, and it represents any content that you may be having in one page. And I'm going to show you how you are supposed to insert your titles. The other formatting elements of an APA style is about paragraphing. What should be your setting in terms of paragraphing, and this is what is demonstrated here. These settings should be very specific for an APA style, and the other one is about font. But these instructions keep on changing, but I'm going to teach them. So these are the four things. One, the headers, the footers. Two, the title page. The other one is about the paragraphing, and finally is about font. So we start by looking at what we're supposed to include in the headers and in the footers. So one thing, once you double click the header, it's going to open this page here, header and footer. But at this point we are interested with inserting a page number. For any APA paper, the page numbers are indicated at the top of the page. So we are going to move to the insert section, and once you click insert, then you go to page numbers. You click page numbers, and you click or you select top of page. You just put your cursor there using your mouse at top of the page, and now you want this plain number 3, where the page number will appear on your right hand side of your computer. So you click that, and then once you click that page number, you type the word running head like that in small letters. Running head in small letters, and then you put colons, and then once you put colons, you're going to put a caption or the title of the paper. Probably your paper was researching on the impact of COVID-19 on the tourism sector, or impact of COVID-19 in the travel industry. So here you are going to put impact in capital letter, impact of COVID-19 in tourism. Yeah, so that is the title. Most of the time you're going to find that your paper has a long title, probably one sentence or two sentences, but you're supposed to capture, you remember I taught you about the main elements of a question. You capture the main theme, those words that are carrying the weight in the whole question, and make sure that it is around 3, 4, at least let's say a maximum of 5 words to be included in the title. So once you have written a running head, colon, then impact of COVID-19 on tourism, you go to home, then you click Ctrl+A to select everything, and make sure that it is in Times Roman 12. Then in paragraphing, once you click paragraphing, you come to line spacing, and in the line spacing section you make sure that it is in double line spacing, and then for there you just click OK. You realize two things about this. Is that one thing, you have everything is selected because you have not clicked anywhere else, and the other thing is that you see that there is a selected section here, meaning that there is a line which is empty and does not function anything. So you just put your cursor there. To remove that space, you delete only once, so that your cursor comes now next to your page number. And then you want now to move this running head and the title to go to the left side. So you put your cursor after the title, and then you click spacing. You keep click spacing until it gets to the very end of the page on the left hand side there. Okay, you see that it has skipped, so you delete one. So that is it. Very good. Yeah, that is basically it. Yeah. So one thing that you're going to learn is that once you click your document, you realize that this header has repeated in all pages. Yeah, it is the same in the first page, the same in the third, the second page. It will be same even if you have 70 pages. But I've done that deliberately to tell you that in an APA format, the header in the first page or in the title page is usually different from the header in the subsequent pages. So what we're supposed to do when you are writing this, when you double click this, yeah, before you insert a running head and the page number, now you remember the whole process what I've done. So I'm going to delete this, yeah. And the reason why I'm deleting this is because I want the page number to be different in the first page or in the title page, different from others. So let us assume we've deleted that, yeah. That is not there now, we have removed it. Yes. We've removed it, and we are at that point, you've indicated the page number. So once you come to insert, yeah. Before you come to insert, there is this function headers and footers. Now assume that the whole process that I've shown you, running head, the title, because that was just an introduction of what is supposed to be included there. Now assume that this is the first thing I'm teaching you. After you've inserted the page number, before you type anything in this page, and before you go to Times Roman and make sure that this is double spacing, make sure that under the header and footer section, you make sure that you tick in different first page. You see where my cursor is, yeah? Different first page. It means that any content that you're going to include in the first page will be different, and you're going to realize that the page number that we had inserted previously has disappeared because the first page ought to be different. And that's why you see that the second page has a page number and the first page does not have a page number. So what you do here, you repeat the same process. You go to insert, page number, top of the page, page number 3, then you write your content, yeah. Running head, impact of COVID-19 in the tourism sector. Then you push this using your space bar all the way to the very end, to the very left hand side, yeah. So you push it until you see it has created one space there, then you delete once to make sure that it has come to this point. So what we are going to realize is that the content in the header in the first page has become different from the content in the header of the second page. But yeah, exactly. So this becomes the title. Then you select this content, impact of COVID-19. So this title is supposed to run in all pages, but in the first page it is supposed to start with the term running head. So in the subsequent pages, the content in the header should not have the word running head. So what you are going to include here, you come to the second page and you just insert, or you just type it again, and as we did in the first page, you push it all the way, yeah, to the very end. Sorry, yeah. This is misbehaving. Let us make sure that the settings are right. Yeah, double spacing. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So make sure that you push this all the way to the left hand side, yeah, of your page, such that you have that such thing as that. So you see that in the first page you have the term running head and then the title, but in the second page we do not have that. We have the impact of COVID-19 in tourism, just that without the term running head, and this will continue in all subsequent pages. So that is exactly what you're supposed to include in the header, and I hope that you've gotten that. Now we come into the title page. So the title page should have 3 things, yeah. The first one is the title of the paper. The second thing after the title of the paper, you're supposed to have the student name. After the student name, you have the university name. In most papers, you just write institutional affiliation. So this content ought to be not highlighted, just in plain numbers, not in bold. Then you center it, at the paragraphing you center it. Then you make sure that the content from the introduction section is pushed to the next page. From abstract, now this term abstract, what ought to be your introduction? Now let me remove the word abstract, so that we have a normal essay such as this. So you're supposed to push this content, the written content, all the way to the next page. So you put your cursor before the first word in your introduction, then you click Control plus Enter, so that this content jumps to the second page. Control Enter, and then it skips to the second page, so that you have the first page all by yourself. Do not make the mistake of pushing enter until that content goes to the second page, because we want this first page to be independent. So make sure you put, then the next step is that you put your cursor before the title of the paper, and then you click now enter for spacing. You click enter. We push this content to the middle of this page. Most of the time we click it 7 to 8 times. So let's click 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. This content is let us click it once more, yeah, 8 times, so that this content appears in the middle of the title page. So you see, when you were clicking space, this content, as it was moving down, it did not affect the second page. The second page was intact, and that's why we used Control plus Enter, so that the content can move to the next page without being interfered with the changes that you make in the first page. So this is what is looking, the APA paper is supposed to look as in the title page. Now let us assume that the title of this paper was the impact of COVID-19 in tourism, in the tourism industry. Yeah, in the tourism. Yeah, so this is the title of the paper. It's supposed to be normally, do not capitalize it there, don't caps it. Yeah, it's supposed to be normally as that. So if this was the title of this paper, you are going to copy that title, and then once you move to the next page where now your content starts, the introduction, you make sure that you paste that title, and it's supposed to be centered. So before you read the introduction, the title is repeated again on the top of that page. So you have the title in the title page, the title of your work, and then you also have the title before the beginning of the introduction in the second page. And once you achieve this, you are almost there in formatting the AP format. The final thing is, the second last thing is that you're supposed to make sure that all content is in Times Roman 12. Mine is in Times Roman 12, there's no problem. But if yours is not in Times Roman 12, you just click here, you select 12, then you just click here and type Times New, and the Times New Roman will come, and then you select it. The last thing is in terms of paragraphing, you come and select paragraphing. This content ought to read. Now let me do something before we select everything here. Yeah, we make sure, okay, yeah, we select everything as I had done. Go to paragraphing, make sure that this is 0. Indentation, we have 0 left indent and 0 right indent. In terms of spatial formatting, it's supposed to be first line hanging, and then after, in terms of spacing, you put 8 points, then this is double spacing. Now I'll not maybe take time to explain how this will affect your paper and maybe go step by step, but you're supposed to capture these settings so that your paper is 0008, first line hanging and then double spacing. Then you click OK, and then you see that this first line has come into the document. That is what we were selecting, first line hanging, and then it is in double spacing. You see that the spaces between the sentences are a bit huge, and that is what you are seeking to achieve. So that is generally the setting of an APA paper, or the structure of an APA paper. Briefly, I repeat this again, is that the first step is make sure that you insert the header. You click the first step, you double click the top of your page, you go to the headers page. Before you do anything, click different first page so that your first page is different. Put your cursor in the first page header, then go to insert page number. Make sure that it is top of the page, play number 3, then running head, and then the title. In the subsequent pages, you just include the page number and the title. And I've also reminded you that in the title page, you're supposed to have there the title of the paper, the student name, and the institutional affiliation. You just, this one, you are going to leave them this way. As you're submitting your paper, the student is going to fill in the details. And generally, you can go through these documents, this recording multiple times, so that you make sure that you have captured everything that ought to be captured and ought to be earned in the APA paper. In the subsequent lessons, I'm going to teach you how to format an MLA paper, and I hope that this has been helpful. Thank you.